Accepting ugliness is actually pretty refreshing. Accepting that I might have been ugly was the most refreshing thing that has happened to me. And that's pretty weird to say because, like, who wants to accept the fact that they're ugly? But for me, it actually helped me a lot in many different ways. So let me explain. Growing up, I became aware of the way that I looked around the time that I was like in 7th grade to like early high school. When COVID hit in 2020, there was the masks. And so I was pretty used to wearing my mask all the time and people not perceiving my face because no one could really see it. Until junior year of high school came around where the masks weren't required anymore. And I decided to take off my mask. And for some reason, I just felt like the most ugliest person on earth. I was very insecure about my looks, definitely around my senior year. It got really, really strong around there. And definitely when I went to Howard University, my first year at college, I was so insecure. Like, if y'all see the people that would go to Howard, like the baddies, like everywhere I turned, there was baddie, 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 and then there was me. So, and I was so focused on how ugly I might have looked to people that I couldn't really enjoy being in spaces with people without perceiving the way that I looked all the time. This also weaved into me feeling undesirable for like relationship wise and even friendship wise. Like, I would see all the people around me dating and, getting hit on and people talking to them. And me, I would never get hit on nor talked to nor like anything. I was very hard on myself around that time. And I just felt kind of left out or like a late bloomer in a way. And I just didn't have any hope for myself in that area of life. I even had a friend I think I was in my senior year of high school. I had a friend who said that, and he was a guy, by the way. He said that Milan isn't, no, this is what he said. He said, Milan's cute, but she's not desirable. And that stuck with me for a really long time and really like ingrained into my head for the fact that I just wasn't no one's type, or that I was just this ugly being. I felt like I had to fix my ugliness to be around certain people. Like, even friend-wise, it felt like I couldn't be friends with like a specific aesthetic of like friend groups because I didn't fit the look that they had. Or even sometimes with my friends, like my friends are gorgeous. I was just like, baby, I'll just be y'all photographer because I don't have a chance to take pictures with y'all. Y'all are like gorgeous. And I just felt like, how are they even my friends? That's in my mind, because I was like, they look this way, I look this way. How are we even friends? How are we even in the same room together? And I would try different things to make myself look better, and then it made me actually feel worse about myself. And so eventually, like, in my mind, I just came to the conclusion that, like, no matter what I did, it wasn't going to fix the way that I looked. And so I was just like, you know what, I'm just ugly, I guess. And I was very, very sad around that time and very kind of borderline depressed because not of just, of other things, but a lot of it was also too because of my looks. So I just came to the conclusion in my mind that I was just ugly and I was going to be this way forever. So why even care anymore about my looks, And so from there, I kind of just spent a lot of time like alone. But a lot of the times that I would think about my looks was when I was around people. If I wasn't around people, I wouldn't really think about my looks that much, unless I was on like Instagram and social media. But around this time, I cut out social media because that was also affecting the way I felt about myself and in other areas of life too. I spent a lot of time by myself, and I also spent a lot of time away from social media, and it made me, instead of focusing on my looks because I was away from everyone else's perception of me, I focused on things that I could control. At this point, I was just like, I can't feel better about my looks, why at least try to feel better in other areas of life. So I, around this time, focus a lot on my health, being consistent and taking care of myself, doing very mundane things consistently, focus on my creativity sometimes here and there, not consistently, but I would do it here and there. Whenever I felt like it, or whenever I was bored. I also got into spirituality around this time and kind of building a self-concept about myself and like focusing on finding beauty inside of me rather than only on the outside. Literally taking all of the attention off of the way that I looked and putting it into other areas of my life made me actually grow confidence in my looks, ironically. It is real. What the heck? I thought it was a statue. Hey girl, I'm not gonna bother you. So like whenever I did look in the mirror, whenever I got dressed to go out with friends or whatever, I would be like, whoa, wait, hold on. Who is this in the mirror? I ain't never seen her before. I'll even go outside bummy. Like, I didn't care. Like, around this time, like I said, I didn't care about my looks. I would literally go outside with my bonnet, my PJs, a sweater, and go to HEB or go to like the store or whatever. I didn't care. And I didn't care how people like at that point perceived me, because I was just like, this is the way that I look. I can only do so much to fix it, you know? And that acceptance helped me think highly about myself. And also with being undesirable in that field, me spending time alone and going on little dates by myself, I would take myself out on dates. And since I spent a lot of time with myself, it made me enjoy my company even more, and also like learn a lot about myself and, you know, do the things that I would do with another person. Like I have my friends too, like they're also really cool. I started loving myself even more and loving my company and, you know, finding things that I enjoy and doing them. And I also learned that my looks don't determine whether or not I'm lovable or unlovable. That's so dumb to even think about. Like, even with friendships too. Like, just because I look a certain way don't mean that I can't, you know, be in a certain space or love another person or be with another person. That's just so dumb. And that goes for really anybody. And so now, today, you know, like I said, I've gained more confidence in my looks, but, you know, I still have my days where old thoughts of insecurities from when I was younger would come in and like barge their way in, and I'll have those days where I just feel like I look in the mirror and I'm like, girl, you look a little strange today. I don't know. And there are days where it's like, you know, oh, wow, you look really nice today, Milan. Like today, I feel pretty nice about myself. My hair is like a little flat. I like when my hair is like bigger because it's wet right now. And when it comes to feeling undesirable too today, like I said, I still have those days where I'll feel like, you know, dang, like since I haven't dated ever, like haven't been with anybody being 21 years old, I'm like, dang, like, am I not cut out for this? Like, why nobody swinging my way? And, you know, having failed talking stages and things like that, I just be like, I don't think it's ever going to cut out. But, like I said, I have those days where I'm just like, you know, I'm fine the way I am. And it's fine to love yourself and also yearn for love at the same time. And that's kind of where I've accepted myself at, is that it's okay to love yourself and be with yourself, but it's also okay to yearn for a relationship or to be with someone, even when it comes to friendships too. So yeah, and accepting the parts of me that I didn't see was beautiful in the beginning, ironically, is the beautiful thing about it. You know, I thought my nose was really big and I thought it was really ugly. I thought my chin was weird. I thought, you know, my whole face. I just thought my whole face was weird. And like I said, accepting those things, accepting that my nose is just going to be big and my chin is just going to look like this and my face is just going to look like this, you know, it made me actually like it. Stop focusing on the bad parts of it and look at it as a good thing instead, and look at it as something that I just have to accept if I don't, you know, can't afford nose surgery, which I won't get, by the way. I feel like acceptance is just the way to go, because it's just like you can't force things to go your way all the time. And when you try and force it, it's kind of like you're just going to keep hating it even more. You're going to keep feeling worse about yourself even more. Like, at that point, just accept the thing. I try to accept the way that you look and accept how you feel about the way that you look. And accepting that perspective or that perception can help you grow in other areas to then feel better about yourself as a whole person, not just your looks. And eventually that will lead into your looks and make you feel better about it. Because there's no need to fix, you. Ugliness isn't a bad thing. So thank you for watching. And yeah, I'm hot, but I'm gonna relax for a bit and be by myself for a little bit. So yeah.